Jerusalem still stands. The temple still rises above the city, the white stone catching the first light on the mount. The priests move through its courts. The smoke of the morning offerings rises to the sky. In a matter of hours, that sky will darken with fire. Before the day is over, the heart of Jewish worship will collapse. Its stones will be torn away. Its sanctuary will be violated. This is not yet autumn. This is Jerusalem in its last uninterrupted hours. In this reconstruction, we walk through its streets before the breach, stand beneath the temple before the flames, and observe the city exactly as it existed, on the brink of irreversible destruction. There are no ruins. There is no ash. Only a living capital, tense but intact.
Along the outer walls, Roman banners can already be seen beyond the northern perimeter. The siege ramps slowly rise toward the fortifications, designed with methodical precision. Inside the city, the defenders reinforce the gates with fragments of wood and stone from previous damage. The air carries the distant rhythm of a coordinated military movement. The walls of Jerusalem are layered, but the pressure has been constant for months. From above, the geometry is clear. The siege tightens around the high ground. The city does not seem defeated. The markets remain structured, the alleys passable, and the towers occupied. However, every defensive position now faces a concentrated empire. The confrontation is no longer symbolic, it is structural.
We move towards the temple complex, elevated above the surrounding districts. The retaining walls frame vast cobblestone courtyards. The pilgrims who once filled these spaces are absent, replaced by armed factions and priests who continue the ritual under pressure. The sanctuary remains architecturally intact. The golden details still reflect the morning light. The marble surfaces remain unscathed. From this perspective, the city appears unified under sacred architecture. However, tension is visible in the patterns of movement. Messengers running between the inner courtyards, guards repositioned on key staircases. The temple functions simultaneously as a spiritual center and a final stronghold. Its scale inspires awe, but also makes it an impossible target to ignore.
Narrow streets beneath the temple plateau reveal another layer of Jerusalem. The residential neighborhoods remain dense, stone houses stacked together, forming alleys barely wide enough for carts. Families stay at home. Doors close quickly after brief exchanges. Water carriers move urgently toward the communal reservoirs. The city's infrastructure continues to function. Intact cisterns, stable stairways, manned defensive walls. From an elevated perspective, Jerusalem appears coherent, even resilient. But coherence now depends on minutes, not decades. Roman camps beyond the walls move in synchronized waves. Siege engines are recalibrated. The balance between interior density and exterior strength grows thinner with each passing hour.
At the northern axis, near the Antonia fortress, the Roman formations narrow. Shields line up. Orders are efficiently passed down the ranks. The assault strategy is no longer exploratory, it is decisive. Inside the city, the defenders concentrate near the most vulnerable sections of the wall. Fragments of stone from previous bombardments are reused as barricades. The soundscape transforms, metal striking wood, orders shouted from afar, measured drum signals from outside. From above, the spatial relationship is unmistakable. The fortifications of Jerusalem were built to withstand ancient warfare. Now they face disciplined legions trained in refined sieges across continents. Within the temple courtyards, the ritual continues despite the proximity of conflict. The priests adjust their garments, maintain the procedure, preserve continuity in the face of the impending rupture. The smoke from the offerings rises steadily, with no change in rhythm. The architecture amplifies the sound beneath the colonnades, creating a sense of order amid instability. The sanctuary remains visually intact, columns upright, and doors secured. However, its symbolic permanence stands in direct contrast to the siege ramps that are nearly complete beyond the walls. This duality defines the moment, a sacred routine unfolding as structural collapse approaches. The temple remains intact. That fact alone carries weight.
As noon approaches, the city's shadows shorten. The heat settles on the stone surfaces. Roman artillery positions finalize their firing angles. The first coordinated bombardment intensifies against weakened sections. Dust rises from the impact zones along the outer defenses. Inside Jerusalem, movement quickens. Defenders rotate positions. Messengers navigate alleys. The geometry of resistance compresses toward the central elevation. The city's layout, terraced streets ascending toward the temple, now channels the fallback inward. What once facilitated pilgrimage now shapes itself into a defensive retreat. Urban planning forged for devotion becomes a final corridor of survival.
The decisive breach does not begin with an immediate collapse, but with a structural compromise. Stones loosen under sustained force. Roman infantry advances behind shield formations toward the points of entry. Smoke thickens along the northern perimeter. From above, movement replaces stillness. Jerusalem still stands, but its boundaries no longer function as absolute barriers. The temple continues to reflect the light, its presence unchanged in silhouette, but the city's control over its own perimeter weakens with each coordinated Roman advance. The transformation is no longer hypothetical. It is unfolding. This reconstruction halts Jerusalem at the final moment before an irreversible change. The temple has not yet burned. The sanctuary remains intact. The city's identity as a functional, spiritual, and political center is still in place. Within hours, flames will rise over these courtyards, and the Second Temple will fall, permanently altering the region's religious and historical trajectory. But here, in this suspended hour, Jerusalem is whole, structured, defended, unified under sacred architecture. If there is another ancient capital you want to see in its uninterrupted final moment before transformation, let me know. The next horizon awaits just before history changes again.